The SOVPOD, sponsored by Arby's, has returned once again to pleasure your auditory glands. Today's episode is particularly pungent. It is as though the sweet scent of milk is dripping over every inch of your flesh. Bathe in it, my darlings.
You know boring drive-through fish sandwiches? Arby's just reinvented them in the form of this new beer-battered fish. Also, Arby's has beer now, kinda. Arby's, we have the meats.
All right. I also want to fuck that dick. Nothing like a good bit of necrophilia to wake you up. All right.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
Okay. THESOVPOD. All right. I just have to remember the order of the letters sometimes. Garden Tool Massacre. You're listening to episode, I don't even know, of THESOVPOD. The SOV stands for everything that we're about that's shot on video movies. My name's Mike Delaney, and joining me now forever and always is Brad, friendly neighborhood joke stealer Henderson. How are you, sir?
What's up, Mike? How's it going, buddy?
So right at the top, I said Garden Tool Massacre, and that always made me think. You know, there's the Ramones song, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre song, right? Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And that's what they say. Is they go, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They took my baby away from me, or whatever, right?
That is the wrong song.
No, that's the KKK. The KKK took my baby away.
No, I know.
Right?
I know you know that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Right. Well, what I was doing was I was joking about how, you know, there's a handful of Ramones songs you can confuse for a handful of other Ramones songs. But they say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I say that loving the Ramones. They say Texas Chainsaw Massacre because they want to rhyme it with me, right?
Yeah.
Right. But why don't you just say Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just rhyme it with her? Now, I took it one step further, and would it be because her is like the possessive pronoun, and they would have used she, and if they could have used she, they could have used that with massacre. Anyway, we're doing Garden Tool Massacre this week, Brad. How excited are you?
I'm semi-excited.
The Garden Tool Massacre. It took my baby away from me. Okay, so there's that. I'm combining 9 songs there, but then there's the Garden Tool Massacre. They stabbed my baby. They fucked up her. Like, you could do something like that. You don't have to. Like, why change it to massacre?
Who cares?
Is that how you pronounce massacre somewhere?
No.
Why massacre? Why massacre? Right?
I don't know. I don't know if I really care.
What do you care about, Bradley?
I care about talking about the movie.
Oh. Even you just want to jump right into the movie.
I want to jump right into the movie.
All right, let's go.
Well, unless you want to talk about what we're going to eat first.
Well, I mean, I always want to do that. Cue the theme song.
Well, I think I'm obligated, per this contract I'm looking at, is that I have to choose. Here, let me make sure I get this right so we don't get sued. Yep, just a cheddar burger. Or wait, I can't say burger. God damn it, we're gonna get in so much trouble.
Bread.
What is that? Yes.
Brett, just follow there's those fucking rules in front of you. I told you to tape it to your computer, buddy. I said tape
Right.
it in front of your camera. The rules with these. Anyway. All right,
Okay.
keep going. All right, well, I'll just cut it out.
Okay, so for a limited time only, you get the classic prime rib cheesesteak from Arby's. Yeah, and then you can get it with a Barks root beer. It comes with red and yellow peppers, shredded provolone cheese, prime rib steak on a sub roll, sliced prime rib steak, onions, and fire roasted peppers smothered in a melted provolone cheese. The kind of stuff that gets you excited about cheesesteaks, unless you're not just the excitable type.
Rap horn.
And of course, you can build that as a meal with sweet potato waffle fries, medium, small, large, or even a kid's. Or you can do a Coke float, a root beer float, or an orange cream shake. Ugh.
Orange cream. That's what he calls it, doesn't he?
Yes.
He goes, come on over, get a 50-50 bar, have some orange cream. That's what he says. Fuck, now I can't unsee it. Okay, my snack today is, since this movie is British, we will have the fine British dish of a boiled potato. So on to the show today. We're talking Garden Tool Massacre. They say 1997, but folks, that can't possibly be true because part of it was shot in 1998. So let's just call it 2020 because that is when the movie was first seen widely.
His house got some history. Was he about that murder back in 90? Apparently there was this guy, right? They find out his girlfriend was cheating on him. So he goes round his house, this house, and kills him. Real gruesome, like splatter every time. And they catch him and lock him up in this nut house somewhere.
That's where you should be. Jimbo, get some more beer, will you?
Yes!
Brad, it's from SRS. It's from Ron. Anything you want to say about the label up front?
No, I mean, yeah, SRS, Ron Bonk's a really good guy. He's been championing this cinema for, or just cinema in general, for a very, very long time, but mainly focusing on stuff like this, that it will be lost to time because this stuff isn't very marketable as a sense of being wide releases or more than probably what he produces. But it's mainly diving into the shot on video life, stuff that's shot on high 8, even more recent stuff that's low budget, that doesn't really get the time of day. He takes care of it. He releases it. He's done so much work as far as getting a lot of these, these titles out, and feeding them into your eyeballs.
Lately too, I've been noticing that the special features work on the discs has been going up and up and up. So much appreciate that.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. So keep supporting SRS Cinema.
No, he's doing great work. Yeah, I picked up a couple from him recently. That he redid the 2 Todd Sheets shorts collections. They just released, what was it? Nightmare Weekend, the Lost Polonia Brothers movie that I think Mark just finished. And then Metal Noir. That was the other one I picked up, Metal Noir. So you'll probably be hearing those on the show soon. All right, so Garden Tool Massacre, a little bit about it. It was, like we said, shot in the late 90s by a 15-year-old boy at the time. Most of the cast and crew in this film is aged 15 to 18 years old. And the final movie itself that we see actually comes from two different films that the filmmakers decided that they could just edit together because they used all the same actors, all the same locations, and all the same names, and all the same character archetypes. So they said it was pretty easy to blend these two films together. And only one of those two films was called Garden Tool Massacre. But that's the title that they went with. Brad, you want to get into a little bit of what this movie is about plot-wise? Hey, oh, no, wait, let me say plot-wise. I put quotations there.
Yeah, as Mike said, this is filmed over a period of time. So when you're watching it, you'll see a kind of a big difference in footage. They shot some on high 8, they shot some on VHS. And then also the sound, there's some sound design stuff that they've obviously fiddled with. And also kind of the title card and things like that. So you'll see a difference in quality. And also there's just a couple scenes. I know that this is two movies blended together, but I also think they used other things from their shorts to piecemeal all this together, because the version that I have of this movie does not match what SRS has put out. So
interesting.
Yeah, he definitely fiddled around with so not to the point where it's very noticeable, but music's different. The title cards are different. There's a lot of scenes that are kind of beat up more on the original, and this is a little bit more clear. So obviously you got a better master. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, nothing really changed to the point where, it changed my perspective of the movie at all. But it's pretty simple. It's about a guy who murders his wife and goes to a mental hospital and escapes and then kills a bunch of people.
Like you do.
Yeah.
So Garden Tool Massacre.
Which is funny because his name is Scavolini, which that's the director of what's his first name? Roman? His first name Roman?
Well, the first thing I thought was if that was the last name of what was the last name of Tom Sizemore's character in Natural Born Killers?
I don't remember that.
I think he was Detective Scavolini. Anyway. But
Scagnetti, his last name was.
Oh, he was Scagnetti. You're right. And there were people yelling at. There were like angry people.
Yeah, Romano Scavolini. He was. He did.
There you go.
He directed Savage Hunt, Nightmare and a Damaged Brain, Your Honor. Yeah. So I imagine they pulled it from that. That's just a weird last name to have, especially when you're making a movie. And you're British, and you're using that last name, so that's my guess. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was, I rewatched it recently. It still holds up, and the reason why, there's not much to go on the plot. I mean, it's pretty much the plot, but I think the aspect of this, of kind of the history of this, is that this was a movie that they were making, what you said, when they were 15, because I remember reading about they were 16 years old.
Yeah.
So they were all still in high school.
15. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, making this movie. They filmed, so if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while, the first portion, or the very first thing they shot was Garden Tool Massacre. So they had, all their friends being attacked by this, guy in a mask using garden tools, and that was it. and then that was going to be like kind of a short film, I guess. And then they did this other movie. I have no idea what it would be called, which is them a little bit older. And obviously you can see a couple things change as far as hairstyles and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to tell because the footage is all jacked up. But the more clean footage is another movie that they were making. And that's when Mike said they put these two together in order to make a feature film. But it does really come across as flawless. I think the only times that you can obviously really notice it is because of the sound and the footage of the high 8 tapes. So
yeah, the high 8's a lot cleaner. But yeah, so the actual, if you want to break it down, the first scene you see in the movie is from the second movie they're shooting, and then you really don't start getting the first movie they were shooting till the back half of the movie that came out. I think that's the way to describe where it lies, but you'll just see it, like what Brad said. You'll notice it. It's visually apparent.
Yeah, so I mean, just don't, like, there's not like a drop in quality. Well, there is, but it's not, it's something that it can't help because you can't restore tape,
Right. It's not like Scream Factory's like Dog Soldiers disc. Jesus, fuck.
So, I mean, mainly you focus on, trying to clean up the sound, the tape noise, the humming, and the contrast basically is stuff that you can fix when you're, are you cracking your knuckles?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
what I do when I'm horny.
Fixing the contrast, or, cleaning it up a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, all in all, the cool thing about Garden Tool Massacre is it's a bunch of kids making a movie, and it's very apparent that they loved what they were doing. And like I've said probably 8 times already on this show, the coolest thing about shot on video stuff is the DIY and passion behind it, because you have a bunch of kids making a movie and they know they're not going to make they're not going to make a dime from it. They're not gaining any fame. They literally did it just for themselves. And there's actually a lot of films like this that never get seen. So it's kind of neat to see these films actually get a release. And, this is not too early. This is pretty late, like 1997, 98. But still, I mean, this is like 20 years ago. These kids are, now adults in their 30s and, late 30s, 40s. And now they're kind of getting this semi-quasi, bump with, people paying attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, the people that made this movie are younger than me, and I was thinking back to like 97 and shooting some of our like SOV high 8 movies, and damn, if it wasn't similar to what was happening on the other side of the pond with this film, because 97 would have been when Edwin and I started making this movie called Slasher with our friend Andy. But it was, so anyway, the big thing about it was the slasher wore a Rocketeer mask and was targeting men that carried around parasols, like the little umbrella. But that's what I remember. I would kill to see that footage. That, and then later that year we did Andy the Movie, a full-length SOV that I'm sure Mr. Gonzalez has, and I need to see it again. It's a full-length documentary we made on our friend. It is wild.
So, what I was going to say is that there's so many films out there that, have this kind of thing going on where kids make some movies, or even older people, even adults. There's a guy from, I think it's Wisconsin. His name was Steve Postal. He died years ago, but he had, I think, 20 movies, all shot on video. Never had distribution for one of them. They basically just sat in his home. And if you emailed him or sent him a letter with like $10, he would make a copy of his master tape and send it to you. And he had some really crazy shit. And all of it is just gone. There's a couple tapes that survived through the time of people having the copies. I'm sure if you really did some hardcore
could you find like a ledger book of like who sent him money and then go ask those people if they have the tapes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that you would have to do. I did find a couple from people, but yeah, I mean, he made 20-some movies, so it's this guy's whole life obviously was based around this, other than maybe having a day job and a family. He made all these movies, and he didn't do it to make money. He did it because he wanted to. It's same with the David the Rock Nelson. David the Rock Nelson, who knows how many movies he has made.
Wait,
none
is
of
he
his
David the Rock or is he David Rock Nelson?
No, it's David the Rock Nelson.
The Rock. Okay.
He claims to be the Rock before the Rock.
I mean, and then Alcatraz just fucking slaps them both.
So, but yeah, David Nelson, David the Rock Nelson. It's weird to call him David Nelson. So David the Rock Nelson, who knows how many movies he has made? He's made shot on video movies since the 80s, and still doing it today. He's never given up.
Has he given up on the Trump shit?
No.
Jesus. Rock, come on, man. Fuck. Devil Ant, come back. Come back to us, Mr. Devil Ant.
So, yeah.
Dave Nelson, he's like...
David the Rock Nelson.
DRN, all right? DRN, he's like... No, but... Oh, that sounds too much like the Democratic National Convention for him. But no, he's... How do you end up being like the how should I say, like Neil Breen of just SOVs? Like that's Dave Nelson, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really crazy. It's just that, in how he did it all. I mean, he didn't even really distribute his movies all that much, kind of like Steve Postal did. But at least David the Rock Nelson's a little bit more well-known. But that's because mainly his movies were 3 to 4 hours long. And
right, and he claimed that they starred Hillary Clinton and like O.J. Simpson and shit.
So he plays pretty much every character, and all the people that are in the movies are like his friends or strangers. I'm actually in, I think I've said this before, I'm actually in one of the Devil Ant movies with I get attacked, I think, or the Devil Ant attacks people under a bridge. And I was there when he was filming it, and he would just have his camera, and he would go up to people, and he would throw this big rubber ant on them and be like, "The devil ant gotcha," and then they would react with, "Oh my God," like, "Ah," like really scared, or they would just look at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So David's a very unique person, but he has this Trump supporter aspect, which is just crazy now. But, he was this person that made all these movies, and no one has seen them aside from him. And, he edits from tape to tape. He records on VHS and then plays the VHS and then records from another player. That's how he edits. He doesn't have any fancy computer systems. He's been doing it for 40 years. I think he's still making movies.
Hey, kitty, you want to give me a big juicy kiss? Let me come. I'm Frankenstein. Let me come over and give you a big juicy kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Here I come, bro. Hey, kitty, let me give you a big juicy kiss. Come on. Oh yeah.
Kind of
or
crazy.
Is he more like the Daniel Johnson of SOV? I don't know. He's like Neil Breen and Daniel Johnson put together.
Well, Neil Breen's movies are more coherent, believe it or not. But yeah, going back, it's really cool to watch people that don't have the experience, the knowledge, the equipment, the money, but they have the passion. And I think that's sometimes more important than anything, because even though they may not have the experience or knowledge how to make a movie, they can get inspired by watching movies. You know, as a young kid making a movie, they did a fairly good job of, you know, what they wanted to do. Yes, it's a ripoff of every movie they've seen, but what else are you going to do? You know, no 15-year-old's going to fucking make the Matrix. You know,
but you would say that a 15-year-old needs passion.
Looking pretty dangerous, running out of patience. Tonight in the city, you won't find any pity. Hearts are being twisted.
Right. You got to find it yourself. You can't spark that. You know, these kids, they were watching slasher films and said, "Hey, you know, it'd be cool if we made our own," and that's exactly what they did. It was pretty much no big story behind it. So that's the thing about Garden Tool Massacre, is that there's really no big story behind it other than how they ended up with the actual movie. You know, there's no big events that happened. They recorded this stuff. They piecemealed it together. They did basically a release, and some of it leaked out very, 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 very small. And then, you know, people like Ron Bonk knew about it and contacted them, and then here we go. And now we're talking about it on this show. There's not, like I said, there's not really much more to it.
They said they only sold a handful of tapes when they, you know, would put it in the back of the catalog or whatever the local, you know, rag was. But they said they only sold a handful of tapes and never heard back from anyone who bought it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of these kind of things go for filmmakers. Sure. And these kids, you know, no one's going to really buy it. So, you know, they may think, oh, we're going to put it in here, we're going to make a few $100s. That's the big thing.
For sure.
That's the big thing for them.
It is bizarre, though, spending all this time making a movie, and I'm speaking from both sides of this, but spending all the time making a movie, and then you put it out there, and you know people are watching it, even if it's just because they literally bought it from you. Like, you know, at some point they watched it, and it's so weird when you don't get feedback, you know, because like even I would see that our film had like millions of hours or minutes or whatever the metric was. So you're like, okay, well, someone's watching it, and then you'd get like 2 reviews on Letterboxd or something. It's just the relationship between the audience when they're consuming, and like it's interesting, because in the age of social media now, I think that we expect more immediate feedback, and then here these kids waited 20 years, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, to kind of piggyback off what you just said, when I was younger, I would reach out to people all the time. And now I don't, because now people are obsessive, and I'm sure they get messaged constantly. I usually like do it in person or something like that if I see. But you'd be surprised how many people are thankful for what you say. I'll never forget, I was at a Fantastic Fest years ago, maybe like Fantastic Fest 2011, 2012, and they had this sci-fi movie there playing called Zombie Roadkill, and Thomas Hayden Church was there, and because he was in that film, and he was like standing out by you know, whatever, having a cigarette or something like that. And I saw him, and I was...
God, I would love to have a cigarette with Thomas Hayden Church.
So I walked by, and honestly, even though Fantastic Fest is this quote unquote movie lovers land, no one really knew who he was, it seemed. And I have always been a big fan of Rolling Kansas, a film that he, wrote and directed. So I went up to him and I said, hello, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan. And he, did the, very cordial, like, oh, thank you very much. And then I said, I really, really love Rolling Kansas. And you could tell when I said Rolling Kansas, like his face changed. And he had that moment where, holy shit, someone mentioned Rolling Kansas to me. Mm-hmm. And like, you could tell he was like, oh man, thank you so much. He's like, I love that movie. And, no one really knows that I did it. And all this other stuff. And then we actually got a sub sandwich at Thundercloud Sub, like across the street. And we talked about his career and shit like that. And I told him how much another one that I really love is he plays the killer in a slasher film called Serial Killing 101 that stars Lisa Loeb.
That's yeah.
And he has this like accent that he does in the film. He says gymnasium class like a million times in the movie. And it's basically this guy that wants to become a serial killer. So he's like trying out like these different costumes and weapons and, one-liners and stuff like that. This is not shot on video. Thomas Hayden Church there's this real killer in the town then. And so he's trying to I guess he tries to take credit for it, the kid, or wants to take credit for it, or people believe it's him. It's been a while since I've seen it, but anyways, it's really funny, and he plays a really funny character in that, and I mentioned that too. And you could tell when people kind of realize that you're a fan rather than saying, oh, I liked you on Wings, or oh, I saw Zombie Roadkill, that was really good, or you're in Spider-Man 3, awesome. It's kind of
so if you walk up to Tony Shalhoub at this point, you don't mention Wings, right? You walk up to Thomas Hayden Church, you don't mention Wings at this point. Steven Weber, you probably don't even mention Wings. But I don't know, I'm thinking Tim Daly and Crystal Bernard, they're always going to be Wings, right?
Crystal Bernard, wasn't she in Charlie's Angels?
No.
Oh.
Crystal Bernard's the tiny blonde Texas girl from Wings.
Oh, she's in Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Two, I think, right? Or no?
She's probably in 2.
I think it's 2.
Yeah, she plays. She's not the. Is she the zit face girl?
Not in my heart.
Or no, that's Heidi Haddad. Because there's Heidi Haddad, Juliet Cummings, and Crystal Bernard. Crystal Bernard is the lead. She's the lead that has the home that they're all going to play with the band.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she's definitely known for Wings.
Wait, yeah. So, but then I think most people would say Tim Daly for Wings too, because that's like his biggest thing. But then when you think of how they've used Tim Daly over the years, man, I would be offended. That man is Superman, folks. Tim Daly is Superman. Okay, and then you're just defaulting back to Wings. I'm not going to have it. But before we wrap up the Thomas Hayden Church podcast, his delivery in Sideways when he gets back to the hotel room with Miles, Paul Giamatti, and he realizes he's lost his engagement ring. He left it at the waitress's place where he was fucking her. And the line reading he gives when he explains why he has to go get that ring, and he says, he goes, it's got dolphins entwined in Sanskrit and shit. It is like the funniest line I've like, oh my God.
Holy shit! Jeez. Oh, God. God, it's fucking freezing out there.
God, yeah.
Vicodin, where's the Vicodin? Oh.
Here.
Oh. Fucking chick's married, man.
What?
Her husband works a night shift or something, and he comes home and catches me on the floor with my cock in his wife's ass.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus, Jack. And you walked all the way from Solvang?
I ran. Twisted my ankle, too.
That's 5 clicks, Jackson.
Fucking ain't right, it's 5 clicks. At one point, I had to cut through an ostrich farm. Those fuckers are mean.
Woo! Oh!
We gotta go back.
What?
We gotta go back. I left my wallet. Credit cards, cash, my fucking ID, everything. We gotta go back.
Big deal. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll call now and we'll cancel your cards.
I know, Miles, you don't understand. The wedding rings. The wedding rings are in my wallet.
Okay, fine. They're in your wallet, and you left your wallet in somewhere, some bar. Okay, Christine will understand.
She had to order them special. It took her forever to find them. They've got this design of dolphins and our names engraved in Sanskrit. We got to go back, man. Yeah. Christine will fucking crucify me, Miles.
No way.
Please, please.
Forget it. Your wallet was stolen in some bar. It happens every day.
We got to go back and get my wallet, Miles. I'm telling you, those rings are irreplaceable. Look, I know I fucked up, okay? I know I fucked up, but you got to help me. You got to help me, Miles. Please. Please. I can't lose Christine, Miles. I can't. I can't lose Christine. Mm-hmm. I know I fucked up. I know I did a bad thing, all right? And I know I'm a bad person. I know I am. But you gotta help me. You have to help me, Miles. Okay? Tell me you'll help me. If I lose Christine, I am nothing.
I'd laugh just thinking about it.
There's that line in Sideways when Paul Giamatti's like taking him to the wine test, like tasting, and he's like, don't drink it right away. Like, stir it around, smell it, and then he's like, take a sip, savor it, and he goes, "Are you chewing gum?" That shit fucking kills me.
I know.
But
then Thomas Hayden Church just takes a sip of the wine and goes, "I like it. It's good."
So, but I don't even know how we got off on this thing. So, but back to Garden Tool Massacre. Like, if you see the director, he's gonna really love if you come up to him. I'm sure he's not hassled with this stuff. But the cool thing about this director in particular is that he went on to make more movies. They basically, whenever he had a camera, he would shoot stuff. SRS also released the House on Cuckoo Lane, which is another kind of unseen movie from the early 2000s that he did. Later.
That one's like 2015.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this, director and filmmaker and his friends, well, not all his friends. I mean, mainly him and his other partner, I think he still makes movies with. He continued to make movies. And that's really fucking cool. It's just not like a one-off or something. It's literally like the Polonia brothers who, they were making movies even after his brother passed away. He continued to make movies. And it's kind of nice to see that these, like Tim Ritter, even Todd Sheets, all these guys are making these movies at a very, very young age. And, even though they have some more capabilities and they still have more money and they have better resources, they never really moved away from what they were doing. Like, the only thing that really changed is the camera and some experience from technical perspectives, walking off the side, drawing a blank, walking off the screen, like going screen right, screen left, continuity, not mixing night and day shots, not, having light reflections in mirrors or the camera reflections.
Right. But I mean, Todd Sheets in particular, like, he knows his shit. Like, even as a young person in the 90s, he was directing Rudy Ray Moore, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's different people, like, obviously they have a knack for this type of thing, but I still think it's unique and kind of cool that Todd Sheets never really derived from what he started. He still stayed true. I wouldn't think he would sell out if he made a movie.
Totally sold out when you made Clownado, man. Total
for
sell out,
like
bro.
$20 million or something. I wouldn't care. I would be, congratulating him. But I think it's cool, like, how these guys really don't go away from where their roots are. And there's some respect to that. And they probably don't want to, because if you have people that are funding your movie, then you have to answer to people. You have deadlines. You have things you can and cannot do. With Todd Sheets, he doesn't really answer to anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's the cool thing. And that's, I guess, kind of what keeps these people going in that direction that they want. They can make the movie for the budget they want. And they probably make a decent amount of money back on selling this stuff now because they have made a name for themselves. So a cool thing that I saw when I popped in the Blu-ray for Garden Tool Massacre was, Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare. They're remastering that. Yeah,
or did they already? I don't want to miss that.
I don't think it would have been out. I subscribed to that little newsletter for SRS. I think it's coming soon. Right. If it did, I think it would be, that one's pretty big because it's really funny. Elijah Wood is on David Letterman, and he talks about Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare. And it is like he's there for like Lord of the Rings, and he's fucking talking about Truth or Dare.
You're really into horror movies, aren't you?
I like horror movies.
Yeah, I find that teensy bit creepy. You think? Yeah, you add that with the super creepy feet, you got yourself a problem right there. Why are you so fascinated with horror movies?
I don't know. I mean, I was 5 years old when I saw my first horror film, so I think I've loved them ever since.
I think you might have been traumatized if you saw it.
I was actually never really scared of them. I mean, the thing is, when you're a kid and you see those films, it's generally, you're excited to see them because you're not supposed to see them.
Right.
So initially it's very exciting because it's taboo, and then I sort of fell in love with the genre.
Of horror?
Of horror films,
All right. But you're such a cheerful, upbeat gentleman.
Maybe that's where I get everything out.
Right. Well, I see. Are you in therapy?
Not currently, but I have been.
Well, I could be your therapist for a minute.
Sure.
All right. So this, hang on a second.
Do I need to reposition? Do I have to get
if you need
ready?
to. Yeah, all right, yeah. All right, you good?
Yeah.
Your applause doesn't help here.
It's so
It's just playing into his fantasy. All right, so I want you to relax, enjoy a chocolate dollar.
Thank you.
And describe the movie you saw when you were 5 years old, the horror movie that turned you into horror.
It was called Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare, with Madonna?
Not the Madonna film.
Okay. That was quite scary, though.
I was going to say, that's quite scary in its own right. It was about it's a direct-to-video film, shot on video.
Right.
About a guy that had played Truth or Dare as a child, and then loses his mind when he finds his wife cheating on him, and he spins out of control and starts playing Truth or Dare with himself and other people, and it gets murderous.
And this masterpiece went straight to video?
And it's remained one of my all-time favorite horror films. I've honestly introduced that film to so many people.
Well, now again, tell me who's in it and where can I get a copy?
I don't know who's in it. The director's called Tim Ritter. He's since done, I think, 5 or 6 sequels, all direct to video.
Right.
But it's a sorry.
Whoa, you know what happened right there? You know what happened right there?
You know what it was?
A wall broke down is what happened right there.
It was emphatic, and I had to touch it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm good with it. I don't mind. I'm cool. I can have men touch me. I'm European.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The film is fantastic. It's hilarious.
I have to say,
it's very
Truth or
gory.
Dare, directed by Tim
Ritter.
Tim Ritter. Okay,
It's
I'm going to see
fantastic.
it. Yeah, all right.
No, he's the real deal, man.
And I'm like, holy shit! How
you're talking about that guy who stands on the Segway and smokes a cigarette, right?
Yeah, dude.
Right,
Truth or Dare sold out.
Oh shit! Fuck. Did he already put up a pre-order?
What the fuck?
Tell him SOVPOD wants it, man. Tell him we want it. Give us the good shit, Rob.
It's weird. It's weird that he would do that on such. And now, truth, like if you're listening to the show and you're new to SOV, Truth or Dare is like one of those movies that is kind of like Sledgehammer, and shit like that. It's pretty well known.
Yeah, that's the one where Madonna talks about how she wants to fuck Antonio Banderas, right?
You're terrible. You're a terrible person. Well, damn, man.
That's 3 episodes in, baby. We did it. We came back
sucks.
from the lawsuits.
Came back from the lawsuits, baby.
We took those lawsuits and we shoved them up your dark suits because you're wearing black suits. Because you're at the funeral of your mother who I killed when I fucked her in the garden tool massacre. See, it's not hard to make a song.
No. Post Malone does it all the time.
It's like, yeah, if you say anything in that, yeah. Fear.com and all dogs will go to heaven. The Bone Collector and the Sixth Sense. Computer Dreams Time. Cop the Rock. Safe Man. Man
Are
from
you
Atlantis.
Are you reading movies off your shelf?
It's a stack of VHS tapes that I have like in a junk box. It's All Dogs Go to Heaven, Fear.com, Bone Collector.
I was like, I thought I heard All Dogs Go to Heaven and then the Bone Collector. And I'm like, who the fuck has those two together? Only you would.
Yes, sir. Yep. Oh, that's funny. Fuck Post Malone.
Damn.
Well, no, actually, I admire that guy because he really committed to those face tattoos. You get those face tattoos, you have to have Post Malone money, at that point. Like, and now he's committed to having Post Malone money the rest of his life, which is good when your name is Post Malone and you do those, I don't know, seltzer Bud Light commercials or something.
So we've went from Garden Tool Massacre to Post Malone to Wings to Thomas Hayden Church.
Well, we didn't go to Wings Hauser, who is dead.
Oh, cut that, please.
I definitely will.
All right. Well, that concludes the show, I guess.
Somebody somewhere in the heat of the night, looking pretty dangerous, running out of patience. Tonight in the city, you won't find any pity. Hearts are being twisted. Another lover cheated. In the bars and the cafes, bed at night. It's midnight. As you turn out your sideline, something ain't right.